Hello everybody, welcome back to another Drag Race recap. Today we're going to be recapping episode 6, the Old Gals Girl Group Challenge situation. I don't know, but yeah, let us get right on into it. Alrighty, so first, before we even get to the challenge, we have to talk about the picking of the songs. So they split themselves into their own groups, which is actually really easy for them, which, you would think some drama would come of that, but we didn't get any of that. But the drama that we got was from picking which group would be able to do the metal song, which is also the one that I personally would have wanted to do. I personally feel like performing to rock is really easy, at least for me. So like whenever I have done drag in the past, that's what I lean towards. I just feel more comfortable in it, so I would have definitely wanted to go for the metal as well. I completely understand the desire. Also, it's very funny because, it's really just playing of, like the opposites. Like you're not expecting like a someone dressed as an old woman to be, singing, doing like, the most Metallica impression. So I also would have wanted metal, but these groups were going at it with each other. And before I'm gonna give my like 2 cents on it. I don't want to encourage any hate towards any of the contestants. Please don't leave any hate for any of them in the comments down below. But I'm going to explain how I would have felt if I was in this situation. So, as a viewer of the show, personally for me, it came across as Mistress and Lux weren't being the kindest in their approach towards, saying that they should get the metal group. Because, there can be a dialogue back and forth of, oh, I want this, oh, well, I want this as well. But the dialogue kind of started off immediately with, oh, well, we're taking this, you're stuck with the other one, which is not, it's not very fair, and I know, like, obviously they were just kidding. Like they were just kikiing, they obviously wanted the metal one, but they weren't actually being like fully serious about it. But you have to deal with the actions of your consequences, If you're like fake being shady at somebody and, kind of trying to like poke the bear a little bit, then when people like Sasha and Malaysia grow frustrated, then you have to deal with the actions of your consequences. So, like, I fully understand the way that Malaysia and Sasha felt after this and during this, because I probably would have felt the same way if I was in their situation. And if I was in Lux's and Mistress' situation, I would have felt bad for, making them feel bad. But, this is like year-old beef, so like it doesn't like that should be like a quote or something. Like it's like, if beef between people is like a year old, like it's expired or something. I don't know. There's some funny quip in there, but it's literally beef that's like a year old. It's not a big deal anymore. They're all good friends now, but I completely, in this situation, understand where Malaysia and Sasha are coming from. And I think any hate towards either group is kind of crazy. So, let's move on to the actual performances in this challenge. Alrighty, so we're going to start with the country group, and they did a pretty solid job. They were like the safe group for me, for sure. I they honestly, yeah, they did a great job with this. I'm honestly kind of obsessed with their outfits. They kind of give Soviet Union vibes. You know what I mean? They're like red and yellow. I feel like Katya would wear one of these outfits to me if she was doing some like, like Russian pop star from the 70s. Is that weird? That's what I feel though. I were any of them in the top? I don't who somebody was in the top. It was Mistress. Mistress was in the top. Um, I can agree with that. I think reasonably, honestly, any of them could have been in the top. Like when I was watching the initial episode, I was having a hard time hearing the television personally. Looking being able to like actually watch them online afterwards, the audio mixing was much better for me. But on my like physical TV, I did not realize that Mistress had started singing her verse until like the end of the second line. I'm not even kidding. So I initially did not get like a very good impression of Mistresses because I like missed part of it. And so I initially thought either Lux or Selena would have been in the top, but honestly, I feel like this was a pretty solid effort by the group. And the only wish I have, honestly, is that they would have leaned slightly more into the countryness of it. Um, I feel like honestly, really none of the groups really fully leaned into the genre part of it, except for like the vocals, obviously. But like, I kind of wish all the groups kind of leaned a bit more into it. I feel like it would have been more fun. But like, honestly, like they did great. There's no denying that. So I mean, good for them. Before we get into the middle group, I just need to say I am obsessed with Aura's makeup in this. It looks so good. It's like honestly creepy. But this group did a great job, honestly. I feel like Sasha and Aura, they were my personal top two of the week. They were my two favorites when I was watching it. Like I feel like they both did a great job. They both kind of embody the genre with their movements, and you know their vocals. And I mean, we do actually kind of get some of like the like genre reference in here. I would say with Aura's verse, like she says, "See you in hell" right here. She holds up the devil horns. Like you know, I like that. I like that a lot. Um, Malaysia and Spice also did entirely fine in this challenge. They weren't like my personal favorites, but you know, they still did a good job. Um, and I honestly, I would struggle to pick like a bottoms for this challenge. I also kind of struggle to pick tops because I feel like Sasha and Nora are my top two personally, but out of literally, I would say everybody in the country group and probably Malaysia, I don't know who the fuck I would have chose. So I don't know, but Metal Group did great. Obviously, you know, it was obviously one that was desired for a reason because the group that, you know, overall did the best, had the best placing contestants, were all from, you know, the Metal Group. Well, not all from the Metal Group. Why the fuck? That's just a pure lie of me. But you know, the I would say the top two of the week, in my opinion, and based off of the judges' opinion, were from the Metal Group, and then the other two were safe. So you know, I feel like they did a great job with this, and I kind of, I kind of like the old lady spin on the girl groups, but I kind of wish because we have a lot of contestants here who I think with just like a standard be like fierce sexy girl groupness, I feel like more people would have done well, if you know what I mean. Because some of the people that struggled with this challenge, like Anitra and Jax and Robin, who were all in the bottom, who we'll get to in just a second, I feel like if we had like a standard kind of like poppy girl group challenge, everybody who did well in this version of the challenge, plus all three of them, would have all done well, and I think it would have been a better challenge overall. But I understand why they did it like this, you know? So let's move on to the hip hop group. The hip hop group was sadly the group that did the worst this week. And I think the issue was is they didn't really play into the physicality of it. Like, I mean, I think Anitra and Lucy played into the physicality of it at points, like Anitra at the beginning of her verse, kind of like walking with her hand on her back with the cane. And then I would say, and also like the beginning of Lucy's verse where she's using a cane as well. Like those two really play into the physicality of it. But then literally everybody goes into these like different like, you know, like splits and, you know, dips and just everything. And it's like, well, okay, we've kind of like taken the oldness out of it. It kind of just feels like you aren't embodying the character as well. You're kind of just like dressed in the costume. And sadly, Anitra did forget her lyrics, and I did not realize it while watching this. And I was like, when they mentioned it, the judging, I was like, what? Did she miss her lyrics? And then I went back and I saw that there was two lines that she definitely messed up. And I was like, oh no, Anitra. I don't know. I think personally, this is difficult. I think I personally would have put like my bottom three probably would have been Anitra, Robin, and Spice. That's kind of what my gut is telling me at this moment, personally, because I feel like Anitra messed up her lyrics. Spice didn't really embody it super well, but her performance was like okay-ish. And then Robin, was facing away from the camera for like half of her verse, which I don't know why she made that choice. It didn't make sense to me. Like she's literally like turned to the side or facing away for a lot of the time, and it's like, what is like this is an active choice based off of the moves that you're doing, but like I can't see you, darling. I wasn't personally that big of a fan of it. But you know, I understand why she did it because like, you know, she was turning away to like do these different like big, you know, like splits and, you know, other moves and stuff. But it kind of just like immediately kind of takes you out of the character of it. So I I really I understand why they chose like the hip hop, because hip hop along with metal is also a genre that you can very easily make funny with like the juxtaposition of being like an old lady. But sadly this group just didn't do it super well. Alrighty, now let's talk about the runways. Because they showed the runways on this episode for like 7 seconds each, which is ridiculous because for how much money these contestants spent on these runways, you got to be giving them their full up and down of it, you know? It's not fair. But, you know, I think for everybody pictured here, which it was fucking difficult to get a picture of everybody on stage and all their runways, that's why it's split into two. Um, I think everybody who's pictured here, I think, did a good job with the runway. I don't know why Jax did the orange bodysuit, but honestly, I kind of like it, weirdly enough. I feel like if she painted her face orange with it and was just like, yeah, I'm doing orange skin tone for this look with an outfit, what about it? I would have liked it a lot. But honestly, I think everybody here in this picture did a great job with their runways. I especially loved Lucy's and Lux's. Those were two really good runways, I feel like, this episode for me. They're both actually kind of similar with like with like how they each went about kind of the tie-dye, but they're so in each of their styles and color palettes that it's just, I don't know, I love seeing the duality of like the drag, you know what I mean? Because there's such entirely different styles, but honestly, the outfits aren't terribly different, you know? So I love them. And then here's the other half of the room. I think everybody did a good job with this runway, personally. Who's not, I don't think Anitra's I was able to get pictured with the pictures that I had available to be able to use. But Anitra's runway is also great. And you can also barely see Marsha's, but I actually really liked Marsha's concept as well. I hope I didn't forget anybody else. I don't think I did, but I might have. But again, regardless, I enjoyed everybody's runways here. Yeah, awesome. Let's move on to the lip sync. I think this lip sync was pretty good. I honestly, okay, so I knew this song before they did a lip sync of it. I know people online were referencing it as like, what is this fucking like B-side Bangles track they're lip syncing to? I'm like, it's a good song. It is a really good song though. But yeah, I think this is a great lip sync. I would say it's probably the most even lip sync of the season, personally. Jax was my personal favorite with this. I liked the, you know, the sudden, you know, quick movements that she was doing. And, you know, she kind of, you know, like she kind of got into like the energy of it a little bit earlier than Robin did. Robin had more of a slow build. And Robin's performance was a bit more, was trying to lean a bit more to like the sexy of it. Not like the hard, rough and dirty sexy, more like the soft and supple sexy. And I understand why people would choose that, because a lot of people online, it seems very split how people feel about this, whether they think Jax or Robin did better. I personally, while watching it, was preferring Robin's performance. No, not Robin's, Jax's. Fuck me. I literally was preferring Jax's. I don't know why I said Robin. Um, but yeah, I think this is a great lip sync, and I hope we get. Well, first off, I hope we get more songs by the Bangles on Drag Race, because the Bangles are everything. But I hope we get more lip syncs of this quality, because they both did amazing. Alrighty, let's talk a minute about Robin Fierce. Robin Fierce had a very weird under-edited edit on this season. I mean, she had as many confessionals, I believe, as Princess Poppy, who went home 3 episodes ago, and I think is tied for the lowest amount of confessionals with her, which is odd. Because I feel like Robin was like fun, you know? I had a good time watching Robin. And I feel like Robin had a similar situation to Amethyst last week, where I feel like there was multiple points where Robin could have been higher and multiple points where they kind of threw her to the wolves. And it's like, or sorry, could have been higher and then could have been lower. That's what I meant. Could have been higher and then thrown to the wolves basically mean the same thing. No, there are points where I think she could have been higher ranked, and I think there are points she could have been lower ranked than she actually was. So it's kind of odd, like the way that it all went for her. Um, and I do think this is kind of like a writing on the wall, especially after Amethyst was eliminated last week. That kind of eliminates Robin's storyline, and I saw somebody mention, like, right after the episode before this, um, that, like, they said something like, I think Robin is going to go next because now Amethyst is gone, her storyline is gone, and so what is she there for? I'm like, oh shit, they're probably right. Robin's probably going to go next. But frankly, Robin didn't do particularly well in this challenge, in my opinion. Also, obviously, that could just be, like, editing magic. But yeah, it kind of is kind of upsetting for Robin. I feel like Robin deserved more flowers than she got on this season, but thankfully, the internet and a lot of the viewers agree that Robin did not get her flowers and that she deserves more. So we love Robin Fierce. Let us move on to predictions for the next episode. Okay, so my predictions for last episode were dog shit. I predicted that Anitra and Robin would do well. They were both in the bottom, so that was not great. I did predict Lucy would do well. She was just safe, but she did the best in her group, so positive maybe. And then Sasha was in the top, so yay for me. So next episode, we're having a redux of the Daytona wins, which I'm actually very excited for. I loved this challenge last season. A lot of people, I mean, it's really very polarizing. People either love it or hate it. I loved it personally. I think this is like the ideal way to do an acting challenge on Drag Race, you know? Just make it overly campy because, and you know, like, just like ridiculous because I feel like that's an acting style that really almost everybody on Drag Race can do, and it doesn't feel awkward because that's kind of the whole point, you know? The whole point of the kind of soap opera, you know, overacting style is to be kind of ridiculous and stupid, and trying to do that, I think is just always going to be better than doing like a serious acting challenge, you know what I mean? So my prediction for who's going to do well this next episode, I said Lucy LaDuca because she can, it seems like she can do basically anything. And so, you know, she won the Snatch Game. She can do comedy things. I think for a comedic acting challenge, Lucy should be able to do well with this. I put Mistress in Malaysia here because based on their feud, I would be shocked if at least one of them wasn't in the top in this next episode. And I also genuinely think both of them can do well in this challenge because Mistress kind of presents herself in like an actorly way, and I would, you know, she's also in the top for the Snatch Game. I would be shocked if she did bad. Also, from the clip that we got to see for next episode, we get a laugh from somebody, or a laugh for somebody, and that person is Malaysia. From RuPaul. So I think, you know, maybe like if I have a feeling honestly that Mistress and Malaysia are both going to be in the top. That's my gut feeling. If not, then one of them's going to win and the other one's going to go home. Probably Mistress winning and Malaysia going home, but that's my guess. But we'll have to see about that. I also put Selena as titties in the top because I think if anybody else can really kind of go for the acting and go for the overacting part of it, I think Selena can do it. You know, she knows how to project herself. She knows how to just like, you know, like she did her with her Mary and Snatch Game, though it was, you know, like safe and not super well received. I feel like in like an overacting acting challenge, that can be of an asset to her. And I also just want Selena to be in the top really bad. Yeah, these are my predictions for next episode. We're gonna have to see how that works out. And to close it off, my prediction for the top 4 has not changed, not in the slightest from last episode. We have seen Anitra be in the bottom now, which is a bit scary for her, but regardless, I personally think Anitra will get back into the groove of things. I hope to God she does, because I fucking love her, and I hope maybe that can happen this next episode, maybe it'll happen the next one. Skip ahead 10 seconds if you don't want to hear any maybe spoilers. But I saw online that the episode after this next one might be like a lip sync SmackDown. So I am, if that is the case, I am very excited for that. If it is not the case, then that kind of sucks. But if that is the case, I do think Anitra, that could be kind of her moment to like shine again, because we know that she could fucking lip sync the fucking house down. So I hope to see that from her. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you wish. Follow me on Twitter. I will leave that down in the comments, not the comments, in the description box below. But yeah, that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, take care. Bye-bye.